This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys, let us get started. So, today being the first session, welcome everyone. And we will just keep it simple today. I will talk about the organization structure and the basic EWM terminologies. And I believe everyone here is having a good experience in SAP. So, I don't need to go through the SAP basics. We can directly start EWM and focus on EWM. So before we start, let us introduce each other so that we will be interacting throughout the course. I'm expecting two more guys, but they will join in the meanwhile. Yeah, so let us start with Apurva. Can you please introduce and just share your SAP experience?
Hi, this is Apurva Prabhu, and I'm working as a senior ATTP consultant, and I have a total experience of 13 years, out of which 9 years is in SAP and 4 years is in domain.
Okay, so what all SAP modules you have worked on?
I've worked on SAP I've worked on SAP WM, and currently I'm entirely working on SAP ATTP module, which is part of, which is a serialization, SAP serialization module.
Okay, and
Okay,
then
and
Priyanka.
Hi Ashish, hi everyone. This is Priyanka Singh, and I am senior consultant, IMWM in Infosys. I have total 7 years of experience, out of which 4 years of experience as an end user and 3.5 years of experience as a SAP consultant.
Okay, then Karthik.
Yeah. Hi everyone. This is Karthik. So I'm working for Carrier now as a EWM consultant. Before that, I used to work for Capgemini as a SAP HCM consultant. Now I'm working for Carrier as a EWM consultant. Overall, I've got around 3.5 years of experience.
Okay, thanks everyone. So what we can do, because you guys already have experience in SAP, so I will skip the initial sessions intending for the basics of SAP, that is especially for the freshers. And since you guys already have sufficient experience, we can directly start with EWM. But again, one thing before we commence, just make a note of it. If you have no experience in EWM, that means you are a fresher in EWM. Because as we progress in the course, you will see that EWM terminologies, EWM transactions, EWM navigation, EWM processes, everything is totally different from your other modules. Also, as per my previous experience, I have noticed that even a fresher can get into the EWM, but sometimes a person with 17 years of HTMM experience finds it difficult. So the key here is practice. The more you focus on the training part and the more you practice throughout the week, more you will be comfortable. So I am sharing my screen. Let me know once it is visible.
You can see your screen.
Okay, so the basic organization process you guys are already aware of. We can just try to focus as much EWM part as we can. So here we can see the supply chain, and in the supply chain, you already know that we have a SAP MM for the procurement, and when we receive the product, it will be stored in the warehouse. Then we withdraw from the warehouse for the production purpose and use it in the production lines. And then we receive the final product from the production lines, which will be then further stored in the warehouse. Then you have a customer shipment. Based on that, it will be shipped out of the warehouse and shipped to the customer. So you can see here the process always starts with your MM, SD or PP. EWM, you have the integration. Wherever the warehouse is coming into picture, you have the integration with the EWM. Here you have MM integration with EWM. Here you have PP integration with EWM. Here you have SD integration with EWM. So the basic organization structure, as you guys are already aware of, we have a company code. Maybe just for Karthik, I can explain you the org structure. and also for Shubhank.
Yeah.
Okay, so now whenever we go into the implementation project, you will see that we have to set up the org structure. So in the last demo session, we talked about the client and company Nestle. Now, assuming that if Nestle will have to implement SAP, that is called as a greenfield implementation in SAP terminology, here you will set up the org structure of Nestle. Now, if you think about the organization Nestle, they have presence all across the globe. They have presence in US, they have presence in Europe, they have presence in Asia Pacific region. So when you set up the org structure, on the top you can see the financial element that we don't need to worry about it. And then you will start with the company code that will also set up by the finance SAP FICO. In case Nestle is implementing SAP in the US region, then they will be setting up the company code for US, say US01, and then on the left side you can see all the part, right side you can see all the SD part. So assuming that Nestle is having several plants in the US, the plants could be manufacturing side, it could be distribution center, it could be offices, whatever. You will set up plant in the company code. The company code created for US, and the plants you have, it could be for the New York, for the Minnesota, for the California, all those plants which are there for the organization Nestle in the country US, you will set up as a plant. Now, if the plant is manufacturing site, then you will be having a production facility. If the plant is a distribution center, then there is no production facility. So based on the plant, you will be having storage locations. So every plant would be having storage locations that is intended to store the products. If you have the raw materials, you have a separate storage location RM00 for raw material, any 4 character. RM00 here is just for the representation. In case you are storing the finished product, you have a separate storage location. Then every purchase organization will be responsible for the procurement related activities. So every plant you will see the purchase organization link. We will not go into that level of details. Here you have Whatever you have the same thing applies for SD. Here you have purchase organization, here you have sales organization. Now when you have distribution channel division, all these are core SD parts, how you are shipping the product, how you are selling the product. If you are selling through the online mode, through e-commerce, through retail, through wholesaler, based on that, you will be having distribution channel and division. We will just skip this part and focus on the our area, which is EWM. Now you might be thinking where EWM is coming into picture. So as I said, whenever you have a warehouse involved for storing the product or shipping the product, there comes the EWM. Now plant is linked to the storage location. In case you have raw material storage location, you are storing milk for Nestle. So plant storage location combination will be linked to a warehouse, and that will be warehouse managed. Similarly for the finished good. Now there is a misconception that your plant is EWM managed, but the reality is your storage locations are EWM managed. Your within a plant, you have a storage location which could be IM managed, another storage location could be WM managed, third storage location could be EWM managed. Okay, so this is the org structure at the high level. Company code and the controlling elements will be financial part. It will be done by SAP FICO. Purchase organization, purchasing group, that will be SD part, part. It will be done by SAP and all the sales area would be done by SAP SD. When team completes the plant and setup, storage location setup, then the EWM is coming into picture. At any point of time, in case you have any questions, feel free to stop me there. Okay, so further to the org structure which we saw in the earlier slide, here you can see the same org structure where the plant storage location combination is linked to a 3-character warehouse. Now this 3-character warehouse is your WM warehouse, which you guys already know. That is the traditional SAP WM, which is going to sunset in a year or two. That is linked to the plant and storage location combination. And then you have all the WM design setup. But in case you have EWM, then the 3-character WM warehouse is further linked to your 4-character EWM warehouse. As I said in the last session, that was a demo session, that throughout the course we need to remember this fence. So this E00 is a bridge between ERP and EWM. And in case you are going for EWM, then you simply need to flip E00 to EWM manage. In case you have a WM, then you will flip E00 to WM in the configuration. In case you have IM manage, you don't need to assign these warehouses. The plant storage location, if not assigned to any warehouse, it will be simply IM manage. Any questions here so far?
I think we are good.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm saying we are good.
Okay. So now here we will again talk about the org structure of the WM as well as EWM. Both the applications shares almost the same org structure. So here now we will talk in detail. Now assuming that you have a warehouse. Okay, so this is a warehouse. So in the demo we talked about say Walmart. Let us consider this as a Walmart or any retail giant. So here we can see you have different racks. Okay, so whichever industry you consider, you have a warehouse and the warehouse is having different racks. Within the different racks, you have different shelves, you have high rack, you have low rack, you have pallet storage, bulk storage, whatever is the structure of the warehouse, whatever you have products in the warehouse, whatever industry it is, it varies from industry to industry, products to product, and structure to structure. Now, assuming that if you have a Walmart and in the simple process, in a very simple process, what you have a truck coming here in the Walmart. When the truck comes here, then you will unload the products here. Okay, because when the truck comes, the intention of the warehouse is to unload as soon as possible so that the truck which is coming here leaves and the another truck which is waiting here would be coming here and you will start the loading and unloading. So you have a resource will be unloading the products. Products will obviously be coming in cartons or pallets or bags, whichever packaging they are using. And then from here, it will be stored in the warehouse. Now, when you again go at the granular level in the warehouse structure, then you will see that here you have all the apparels, like all the cloths are stored here, all the vegetable items are stored here. Now, within the vegetable items, you have fruits, you have say vegetables, and maybe you have a separate section for non-vegetarian items. Okay, so now here you have fruits, here you have vegetables, and here you have non-vegetarian items. Now, when the truck comes and you have unloaded, you have unloaded the cartons, what you will do? You will store it in the warehouse. then you will store it in the warehouse. So here comes the difference between IM and WM, WM or EWM. In case of IM, the moment you have done the unloading, there is no further direction from the system. The moment you have unloaded the product, you have posted the good receipt in system. If you remember that when the inbound delivery is created, or you can go into the Migo, you can directly post the good receipt. This one is the good receipt which is being posted. But in case of WM and EWM, you will get the additional direction from the system. In WM, you can call it as a transfer order. In EWM, we have a separate terminologies that we will see later. And then based on this, the system will guide the resource to place the carton of apples in a particular place. So here, if we talk about structure, then this is your storage location. This is your storage location, which is WM manage. So you call it as a warehouse. And the warehouse is having separate storage type. Okay, now if you talk about storage location, then this is your storage location. You receive in the storage location and you are done. There is no further direction from the system. But if you talk about the warehouse, then you will be receiving it in this area, and then the warehouse resource will be storing the product here. So this is your storage type, which is divided into storage section, and the last spot where you are storing the product is your storage bins. This is the org structure in WM as well. And if you compare between WM and EWM, then this is the only thing which is common, the org structure. Other than this, whatever we are going to learn would be totally new in EWM. Okay, so here you can see warehouse having storage type divided into storage section, and where we are storing the product is your storage bin. Hold on for an activity area for 15 minutes. We will come to this. And then you have a quant. Quant is just the characteristics of material. It is having no significance in EWM. In WM, you have a quant table. You can see the quant number. You will see when you create a transfer order, you will see the quant number populating there. You can play with the quant. In EWM, quant is just a concept for you. System will take care of generating the quant number. Quant is nothing but the characteristics of the product. Characteristics, that means if you have received apples on 1st of January, okay, when you receive apples on 1st of January, you are going to store it in a bin. System will automatically generate a quant number. Okay. And if you have received another set of apples having different batch, so here you have batch 1 and here you have batch 2. Another set of apples you have received having batch 2, then system will automatically generate another quant number. Okay. In case you are again storing the product. Now storing the product, this one is called as a put away. This is the terminology being used in WM and EWM. So throughout the course, we will talk about put away and picking. When you remove from the bin, it is called as a picking or stock removal. And if you are going to put away another lot of batch 1 at the same time in bin A, it will add to this quant. Quant is just a characteristic. when you withdraw, everything from here, the quant number will disappear, automatically deleted, and it will never regenerate the same quant number. And when you talk about quant number, in WM you have number like this, but in EWM you will see alphanumeric character. Okay, so we don't need to worry about this. System will take care of everything pertaining to quant. We don't even need to assign the number range, nothing. Everything will be driven by system, and the guys who are not taking the training at the granular level, they don't even know what is quant, because in the system you will not see anything pertaining to quant. It is just a concept for you. Okay, any further questions, anyone? Okay, now activity area. Activity area is a totally new thing in EWM. And the theoretical definition is that grouping of bins based on the activities we are doing in the bin. But that is just a theoretical definition. And practically, every functionality in EWM will be controlled through activity area. Okay, so if you are comfortable 50% in activity area on day one, that is fine, because throughout the course we will talk about and we will see in the system how activity area plays a role to design the functionality. So if we talk about the activity area, the entire warehouse is divided into several activity areas. That means you have storage types linked to activity areas. That means what all activities you are going to perform in the given activity area would be controlled through activity areas. For example, this is a basic put away process. You are receiving carton of apples. Suppose you have received 2 carton of apples. This is one carton. This is another carton. You have received 2 carton of apples. What you are going to do with the 2 carton of apples? You are going to store it in a bin. On what basis system is going to determine the bin? That we will see in the put away rules later. But to explain the activity area, at high level, you have different put away rules. For example, if you have receiving apples, then you may not like to mix the fresh apples with the old apples. Otherwise, what will happen? You will keep keep picking the fresh apples and old apples which you have received on January 1st, that will expired simply sitting in a warehouse. So you don't want to mix up. That is just one of the example. You don't want to mix up. Your requirement is whenever you receive a new lot of apple having different expiry date, system should always propose next empty bin. Okay, I am not talking about the put away rules in detail. The intention is simply to help you understand little bit what is activity area. Okay, now here you have several bins. Bin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bins are there which are empty. And when you talk about next empty bin, which one system should consider? Because you have 5 bins which are empty. On what basis? System will determine bin 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, how. That will be controlled through activity area. That means based on activity put away, and in this activity area, we will define which bin system should consider first for put away. The user is going to start the put away from here, or he will be starting the put away from here. That warehouse will let us know, and then we will set up in the system based on the activity which is put away and the activity area which is this one. Similarly here in the apparel, that is in the different activity area, when you receive products, your requirement is again the next empty bin. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 5, 4 is the sequence, but here the user would like to start with 10, 9, 8, 7, 5. So in this activity area, for the activity which is put away, we will define the sequence like this. Okay, this is for the activity put away. For the activity picking, again you have the same thing. If you have received the order from the customer that they need 2 cartons of apples, then you will be picking from the apples, you will be putting it here in the same place. When the truck will come, you will load into the truck. Now when you pick here, of course when you are picking something which is consumable items, then your intention is that the batch which is expiring first will be picked first. Even when you go into the medical store, you ask for the tablets, the shopkeeper is intending to give you something which is expiring in 5 months rather than giving it to you which is expiring in 2 years. So here you have that rule. But assuming that bin number 3, 4, 5 having carton of apples which are expiring on January 30. Now you have 3 cartons which are expiring on the same day. That means you have 3 cartons in 3 different bins which are fulfilling your stock removal criteria. Then which bin system should determine? That you will set up for the activity picking in the activity area, this one which is linked to the storage type, and accordingly system will determine. Here we are using the activity area to control picking and put away. In case you have 2 storage types having exactly same functionalities, having exactly same products being stored there, then the 2 storage types would be grouped together in one activity area. In case you have a different functionality in this same storage type, then the same storage type can be divided into 2 different activity areas. Are you clear on this? Any questions, anyone? I will just pause here for 30 seconds. Let me know in case you have any question. Suhas, you have got this link from where?
Hi, from Suresh.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I forgot to join. I just joined.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so I will be sharing this recording with everyone just within 30 minutes of the completion.
Okay,
So in case you have missed anything, you can go through the recording. In case you have any questions, every session we will start with Q&A, so you can always clarify your doubt.
done. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so here we talked about the storage type, storage section, storage bin, quant, and activity area. Hope everyone is clear on this, especially the guys who haven't worked in the WM, and the WM guys, if you are clear on the activity area, please confirm. Otherwise, we'll talk in detail about the activity area again. Okay, so this is the structure. Now, if you go again at the granular level in the warehouse structure, this place where the truck would be coming, and from here you are doing the unloading, here you are doing the loading. It could be that you have a place where you have a truck coming for unloading and loading both. That is called as a door. In EWM, you call it as a door. So we always consider the truck docking at the door for loading or unloading purpose. That means the truck docking at the door, unloading in the staging area. So this is your inbound. This one is your inbound staging area. This one is your outbound staging area. And this one is your outbound door. So here you can see the door is also created as a staging storage type with the role of door. Staging area is also created as a storage type with the role of staging area. The bins are also created. This is a fixed bin, but this is a storage type 0050. Within that you have bins. And the right side as well, you can see staging area outbound and doors outbound. All the 8 series storage type which you can see here, that is for the complex EWM processes. That means if you have received multiple products, if you have received 2 products in one carton, apples and say potatoes, as per your put away requirement, apples would be going into the fruits area and potatoes would be going into the would be stored into the vegetables section. That means this carton cannot be stored as it is. It will be going through a separate process where you will split the carton, into 2 different cartons, and then fruits will be stored in a fruits area, apples will be stored here, and potatoes will be stored in a different area. So this place where you are doing some additional activities is called as a work center. Work center is also created as a storage type with the role of work center. So we have gone through the course earlier. So this will be in the complex inbound process. We will talk in detail later. We will start with the simple process. So here in this diagram, you can see 8 series decon, which is deconsolidation, and 8 series packing are created as a work center. Work center for the inbound process. That means you are receiving something in the warehouse, but as it is, you cannot store it in the warehouse. You have received apples. You wanted to check the quality inspection. You wanted to count how many apples are there in the carton. You have placed an order of 100 apples in a carton, but when you receive the carton, you wanted to count, or you wanted to check the quality inspection, or you wanted to deconsolidation before you store it in the warehouse. All that process will be going in a place which is defined as a work center in the system. And same thing is applicable for the outbound process as well. In case the customer requested for 50 apples and 50 potatoes, then you may not prefer to ship two different cartons which can accommodate 100 apples and 100 potatoes. You will not prefer to ship half-filled cartons. It will unnecessarily occupy the truck space, which will incur a shipping cost. So you would like to pack 50 apples and 50 potatoes in one carton. That will be going again through a separate place which is called as a work center, represented here as 8020, that is packing. Okay, and then here you have a yard that we will see in the yard management, where you have multiple trucks coming in the warehouse. 5 trucks are coming in the warehouse, but you have only 2 doors. So what should have happened to the remaining 3 trucks? So that will be in the yard management. So a separate storage type would be created with the role of yard that will be used for yard management. Okay, so here in this diagram, you can see in 9015 all the 9 series in the standard. Standard, I mean, whenever you get the system, you always have 0001 company code, 0001 plant, 0001 storage location, 001 WM warehouse, 0001 EWM warehouse. Within 0001 EWM warehouse, you will always see 9 series as a door and staging area, always see 8 series as a work center, and then remaining you have different other storage types. So here 9010 is the staging area, represented here as 9010. 0001 is the storage section created in the staging area, and GR zone is the storage bin. Okay, and similarly here you have a deconsolidation bin. As we know, the storage section is optional, so here you don't see any storage section. The difference between WM and EWM here is that in WM you always need to create a storage section even though you are not activating the storage section. So when you create a bin, you always need to insert the storage bin. But in EWM, if there is no section, then you don't need to create a section. Okay. So here, if you are storing all the same cloths, like you are storing, say, bed sheets, so you don't need to split this area into section. Within a storage type, you have several bins, and then you can store the same product whenever you are doing the put away. There is no need of section. So you don't need to create a section here. You have only one staging area. You don't need to create a section. But within this staging area, you have multiple small sections which you want to distribute for different products, then you can create a storage section within this staging area. Clear? Any questions, anyone? Okay, so same thing we talked about: storage type, storage section, storage bin. In EWM, you have storage bin, which is 18 digits. In WM, you have 9 or 10 digits only. So here you have storage type, section, activity area. These are configuration elements. Storage bin is the master data. Okay, so now when we create a door, you will see here the storage type with the role of door. And here when we create a staging area, we can define here staging area is created as 9010 storage type and 9020, out of which one is your GR zone, that is good receipt inbound staging area, and the other one is your goods issue outbound staging area. And staging area will be created as a separate storage type with the role of D. You don't need to remember this. When you get the system, you will see that you have different roles here in the configuration. Okay, and you also have the option to group the staging area and door together. That is specially required in case I have seen specially for the hazardous materials. In case you have hazardous material, for those hazardous materials, you group staging area and door together, so that when the truck comes for the hazardous material, it will be coming here in a separate area. Okay, it will be loaded, unloaded differently. The way of handling is different. The way of storage is different. Different set of resources are involved. So in that case, you may prefer to link the staging area and door together at the product level. But it is optional. In case there is no such necessity, then you don't need to link it together. Work center we already talked about, and we will see that in detail when we talk about the storage control in the advanced EWM functionality. So where you are doing the additional activities on the pallet which you have received or which you are shipping. Okay, so before we proceed, any questions, anyone? Karthik, all good?
Yeah, all good as of now.
You are already working in EWM, right? So you should
Yeah.
be aware of all this.
Yes, correct.
Okay, Priyanka and Apurva, any questions you have?
No, all good.
All good, Ashish.
Okay, so maybe what we can do, we can take a quick 5 minutes break, and then we can proceed further and talk about the different org elements in EWM.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll talk again in 5 minutes. Hello guys, everyone back?
Yes, we are back.
You can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so now coming to the other org elements. So here we have a supply chain unit first. The supply chain unit is in ERP side you have shipping point and good receiving point, and in EWM you have supply chain unit where you can maintain the address of the warehouse, and you also maintain the specific business attributes like the warehouse will be used for good receipt purpose or shipping office or production planning. All that you will maintain in the supply chain unit. This is a cutover activity. One time assignment to the warehouse is required for supply chain unit and the other two. If you are in the implementation project, then you will come across this. If you are in the support project, you may not know what is where this coming into picture in while posting the business transactions. For example, in case you miss to maintain the good receipt office, then you will not be able to receive the products, receive the inbound deliveries. Then you have custodian and party entitled to dispose. Party entitled to dispose is also called as the owner of the stock. Custodian is the guardian of the inventory, and party entitled to dispose is the owner of the inventory. Okay, so the purpose is that every product, every carton in the inventory is linked to owner and custodian. Why? Because you have the possibility where you are, for example, suppose you have a manufacturing sites in several places in the US, which is say 50 to 60 miles away from the city center. So that is one of the process which I have implemented earlier in the US. And there, when you receive the order, suppose that was the cheese company, dairy company, and there if you receive the order from the core customers like Walmart and Costco, then it will take around 2 to 3 days of delivery time. But they don't prefer; they want immediate delivery. So that is the reason multiple manufacturing sites of the same organization, that was Saputo, they have taken the distribution center on lease, which is near the city center. So what happened? Whenever the production is done, instead of storing it in the warehouse, they will immediately ship it to the distribution center. So distribution center, suppose it is owned by plant 1, and plant 1 owns the distribution center, but here you are storing the inventory of multiple sites. Here you are storing for plant 1 and plant 2. Now this carton, your owner is plant 1 and custodian is plant 1. This carton, owner is plant 2 but custodian is plant 1. Okay, so that in case you have 100 apples here and 100 apples here, and when you receive the order from the customer, when plant 1 receives the order from the customer, how the system will make sure that the resources are not allowed to pick a carton owned by plant 2. That will be controlled through custodian and owner. You will rarely see this scenario. In the 90% of the case, you have both same custodian and owner, that is party entitled to dispose the inventory. But in some cases, you will also see the difference where you have two plants involved in one of the warehouse, where you don't have any production facilities, you have used only for the storage requirement, and you wanted to make sure that right resource will be picked and shipped for the right order. Order received by plant 2, only the owner of the stock will be checked, and accordingly system will allow the user to pick, to scan this carton only. Clear? Okay, that is also one time assignment to the warehouse. When we set up a warehouse, you have this assignment. All these three organization elements are one time assignment. During the cutover phase, and this custodian and owner, these are nothing but your plant vendors. In S4 HANA, you have business partner. So these are business partner created for the plant vendors. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, and then coming to the integration part. Now here we'll go into some further details here. Here you have a fence. Throughout the course, we will remember this fence where on the left side you have ERP and right side you have EWM. Okay, now here you have plant and storage location. Here you have warehouse. So left side of the fence is linked with the right side of the fence through your 3-character WM warehouse. Now, in case you have received two cartons, 100 apples and 100 apples, it will be updated here at the storage location, which is 200. But here in the EWM, it will be updated in bin 1, 100, and bin 2, 100. Okay, at any given point of time, the inventory here should be in sync with what you have here. Okay, so this is the most important part which we are going to talk about. So I have been conducting interviews from last several years, say 6 to 7 years, but I have seen that 70% of the EWM consultants in the market, they don't know these concepts. And these are very critical in case you want to, build your career in the EWM. So just make sure that you understand each and everything here. Okay, so here when we talk about the fence, left side we have ERP, right side we have EWM. ERP and EWM are integrated with each other. Okay, these are integrated with each other. So when we talk about integration, then you have different systems and versions. Earlier you had non S4 HANA, that is R3, correct? So in the R3, what you have, again, if you go for the implementation, nobody is going to use this. But if you are getting a support project, there are still several organizations which are not yet migrated in S4HANA. So here you will see you have ERP and you have EWM. So in the R3, which was non S4HANA, you always have ERP as a separate system, EWM in a separate box. This is your decentralized EWM. Here you have different EWM versions 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5, which are all non S4 HANA, non HANA database. So when we talk about the integration, what all you could think of? You could think of the master data, where you create a material master here. Okay, you have material master. Here you have vendor master. You have customer master, right? What else? You have batch master. These are all master data. So material master is integrated with EWM, and this will create a product master here in EWM. Material master creating a product master. You can see this MM01. Here you can see SCWM MAT1. Vendor master, customer master in ERP, which is ECC. Is creating business partner in EWM. Okay, you can see this in the transaction BP. Here you have XKM1, XK01 and XT01. Batch master is creating another batch master in EWM. Okay, so here you have a separate transaction SCWM, WM batch mint. And this one you can see here in MSC1L. These are all master data that will be maintained in ERP always and transferred in EWM. In case you are creating a batch master here, then it will be updated back in the ERP. But material master you will always maintain in the ECC. Vendor customer master always upload here, and that will create a business partner in EWM. That will be done through core interface, which is called as a SIF. You create a SIF model. SIF model will be created through CFM1 and CFM2. So you create a separate model for material master, separate model for business partner, vendor master, customer master, separate model for batch master. You have the option to create a separate models at the warehouse level as well. Now, once you set up the model, sorry, then system will automatically create and update your master data in EWM. This is for the master data. For the transactional data, here you have purchase order. You are creating inbound delivery. See, inbound delivery and outbound deliveries are always mandatory in EWM. If you try to post through Migo for the storage location, which is EWM managed, system will still creating the inbound delivery and not creating a material document, because receiving will always be done, or shipping will always be done from EWM for the storage locations which are EWM managed. Sales order creating outbound delivery. This inbound delivery is creating inbound delivery notification in EWM, which is a replica of your ECC inbound delivery. This outbound delivery is creating outbound delivery request in EWM. With reference to the inbound delivery notification, it will create inbound delivery. And with reference to outbound delivery request, it will create ODO, which is outbound delivery order. Transactional data would be integrated through a distribution model, which you will maintain through BD64 transaction. Okay, so here in the distribution model, you will define that you have one logical system, you have another logical system 1 and logical system 2 are integrated to a remote function call. That will be the basis setting, but you should be knowing this at the high level. We don't need to configure or set it up. It will be done by the basis team. And you will see BD97 transaction. You will go and you will see two distribution models, ERP and EWM, are linked through RFC, and this you will maintain in the distribution model. Based on that, your delivery will be distributed in EWM and creating another document. Clear? Any questions here?
Small question, Ashish. What is the difference between this
I cannot hear you,
SIF
sorry.
and the DRF out?
There is a lot of background noise, Karthik.
So I was asking. Oh, sorry. So I was asking, what is the difference between the SIF and DRF out?
No, there is no DRF out.
DRF out and SIF.
DRF, there is no DRF. In
Okay.
R3, it will be core interface only, SIF.
Okay.
Okay, but in the S4 HANA, you have iDocs. So if we talk about the same thing in the S4, then what you have? So here we are talking about S4 decentralized EWM, where you have business partner only. There is no vendor master and customer master in S4. You have only BP. This BP is creating a BP in EWM. That will be done through iDocs. Now, the one which you might be referring to is an iDoc type. Material master would be transferred and creating a product master through MatMas iDoc, and customer master and vendor master, which are BP it will be through DevMas and CREMAS iDoc types. These are iDoc types. Okay. And batch master is your separate iDoc type. Okay, so here it will be iDocs and the distribution model remain as it is. You have one logical system, you have another logical system. S4 decentralized. Then you have S4 embedded. So embedded is used in case you don't have that much high goods movement. In case you have 200 warehouses, then for the system performance point of view, you will use decentralized. In case you have 30-40 warehouses, then you will use embedded. Who is going to take the decision? Organization will take a decision in consulting with SAP. So SAP will recommend them based on their process, based on their warehouse structure, based on their goods movement. If they need to go with S4 decentralized, S4 embedded, or we have one more that I will explain you. In the S4 embedded, what happens? You have only one box where material master is creating a product master automatically. This is the automatic process. Material master creating product master. As soon as you create a material master, it will immediately create a product master. The basic information of the material, like the description, base unit of measure, alternate unit of measure, weight, volume, etc., batch manage or non-batch manage, serialized or non-serialized, everything you will maintain in the material master. Automatically updated in the product master. Only the EWM, only the warehouse specific information you will maintain in the product master. Other fields are grayed out. That we will see in our when we set up the system, because we will be using S4 embedded 2022 S4 HANA. Here is a BP, here also BP. So there is only one BP. Only one BP. You don't need to create a separate BP in the embedded. And there is only one batch master. So here only one BP and one batch master which you will maintain in MSC1N. This one is gone. No separate BP. Automatically creating product master. So there is no IDOC, no SIF. That is your master data. For the transactional data, you have inbound delivery, creating another inbound delivery in EWM. There is no inbound delivery notification. An outbound delivery, creating another outbound delivery order in EWM. There is no outbound delivery request. Okay. So here the purpose of notification and outbound delivery request is simply to show any errors while creating the inbound delivery. This is a replica of this one, and purpose is we are not going to post anything out of this. It is just to check the error message while creating the inbound delivery. So these two are gone, but the distribution model will remain. You still need to maintain the distribution model based on which the two logical systems are integrated through RFC, and you will specify the warehouse based on which it will be distributed. Clear? Any questions, anyone? Now coming to the last but rarely used deployment options, which is ERP and multiple EWM. Okay, so in a company like Nestle, where you have 500 warehouses in the US, 500 warehouses in Europe, 1000 warehouses in Asia Pacific, for risk mitigation, they would prefer to use decentralized region specific EWM. So here you have logical system 1 for the ERP and multiple logical systems for your EWM. When you are creating the inbound delivery, in the inbound delivery you have plant and storage location. Based on the plant and storage location, your WM warehouse would be determined. This WM warehouse is maintained in the distribution model. Okay, distribution model, how? LS01 with LS02, LS01 with LS03, LS01 with LS04. One distribution model, another distribution model, third distribution model. You maintain your US warehouses in one distribution model. Based on this, all your deliveries where the warehouse is maintained here would be distributed here. Remember guys, if system is down, ERP is down, procurement can wait, finance can pay later, billing can be done later. But if EWM is down, then all your trucks will have to wait there, and that will create a messy situation in the warehouse, in the logistics. Okay, and that is the reason you have more on-site opportunities in the warehouse, because warehousing will be done in the warehouse. Can be done sitting at the home, FI can be done sitting in the air conditioner, but warehousing will be done in the warehouse only. You cannot afford multiple trucks are waiting here and the warehouse is not able to pick, not able to print the paperwork because the system is down. Okay, that will delay the customer shipment. In case of export process, you will be having more messy situation because the truck would be going to the airport or ocean, and then you have another shipment from there. So everything needs to be on time in the logistics. For risk mitigation, to improve the system performance, in case you come up with the organization where they have thousands of warehouses across the globe, you will definitely see this type of model where one ERP and multiple EWMs are there. Any questions, anyone? And this is applicable R3 as well as S4. If it is R3, then master data integration will be through SIF. If it is S4, then master data integration will be through iDocs. Okay. So I will wait here for 1 minute in case you have any questions. Just pause here for some time. Let me know. Any questions, anyone? Are you guys clear on this?
Yes, Ashish. Yeah, clear on this.
Okay, so here you can see the ERP integration with EWM, where you have two logical systems linked with RFC, and it will be distributed. Here as well, you can see the fence. Okay, and earlier you had a core interface SIF. Now you have iDocs. Distribution model is still there. Okay, so after that we have another critical topic, but I just don't want to bombard you with all these new conceptual things. We'll take it up tomorrow. In case you have any questions on whatever we have discussed so far, let me know. Okay, so guys, now the forum is open. In case you have any questions on what we have discussed, or in case of you have any other topics, just let me know.
A question. Where's Bola?
Yeah, Bola.
Right. So you were talking about the material master. Is EWM managing the material master?
EWM is having a product master. That is also, product is also a material, but the basic information of the material will be maintained in the ERP. That will be updated in the EWM, not allowed to maintain, only updated. And in the EWM, you will maintain only the EWM specific material master or product master data. What EWM specific, that we will see throughout the course.
Okay, thanks.
Any further questions? Karthik, all good?
Yeah, Ashish, all good.
Priyanka, Apurva,
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, Ashish.
Suhas?
Yeah, all good.
Okay guys, so maybe we can stop here, and today we will tomorrow again we will meet at the same time, and I will talk about the availability group, and after availability group we will start setting up the warehouse structure in the system. Okay, so as soon as I get the systems, I have already requested, my admin is not available in the weekend, so maybe we can get the system access by Monday, so I will share it with you guys, and I will share the recording just within 30 minutes. Okay, and we'll share the PPT as well. So if no further questions, we can close the session here. Okay, thanks for joining. Talk to you tomorrow, same time. Bye.